faster.
Cleanup underway after substantial flooding from Tropical Storm Debby,
With that much water, there's nothing you can do.
leaving some neighbors stranded.
Not used to not being able to get out.
Some areas getting more than a foot of rain in just a matter of hours. Officials warning of the danger of driving through high water as the storm starts moving back over South Carolina. And that's a concern tonight. Good evening, I'm Richard Rogers. We begin tonight with that first alert. Meteorologist Mikkel Hannah-Harding and the latest on the track of this big storm. Mikkel.
Well, Richard, we are still tracking that and still have some concerns for more flooding possible tomorrow. So we have put out a first alert for our Thursday for the possibility of some locations that have already seen maybe even upwards of half a foot of rainfall, seeing another inch or two of rainfall tomorrow on the backside of this system. So here's a look at Tropical Storm Debby, 60-mile-per-hour winds moving towards the north and west at about 3 miles an hour right now. This is forecasted to make landfall likely here possibly before midnight, but if not midnight, overnight into tomorrow morning, and then push through South Carolina as we head through tomorrow, which will still put us pretty close to that system, and impacts, of course, felt outside of the center of circulation. Here's a look at Debby right now. A lot of dry air has been wrapping into the center of this system, so you can see it's a very lopsided system, not too symmetric here, and up in North Carolina near Wilmington, getting some of the heaviest activity right now. Across our area, we have been relatively dry for the past few hours after seeing a few hit or miss showers earlier this evening. Still looking at flood warnings, though, that include Allendale, also Screven County and Jenkins County through the overnight hours of your Thursday morning. As far as looking at any flood watches that we have in effect, we still have some counties shaded here in green with that flood watch that goes through Friday morning. So the Weather Prediction Center and National Weather Service both on board with the potential of more flooding issues tomorrow. Here's the outlook from the Weather Prediction Center in terms of that risk for flash flooding. And you can see that slight risk does encompass a good chunk of the CSRA. And we are highlighting our South Carolina counties and those southern counties for that greatest threat. We'll continue to talk about those threats from Debby and that full forecast.
River levels downstream of Augusta are rising as well, but for some people, the cleanup can't even begin until the water starts dropping. Your first alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale joined one man in a boat earlier as they looked over his flooded property and stranded animals in Barnwell County.
Right now we're with David Steele, and unfortunately this is the scene he's dealing with. We are riding around in his John boat. That is his house. Those are his cars. And unfortunately these are his animals as well. David, you were telling us a little bit about your situation, but as far as kind of how many animals you take care of, what you've lost in this flood, can you just share with us kind of what you're going through?
Losses have been, we don't know the exact amounts. Like I said, we've lost well over 100 quail. Chicken and turkeys, we haven't been able to fully access what we lost. We're fighting now to keep what we have left: hogs, coons. We have rabbits, chickens, turkeys, ducks, geese, goats. I mean, we're fighting to try to keep everybody we can alive now. Trying to keep them above water so they don't go underwater.
Absolutely. And we're seeing all your animals, unfortunately, just having to stand in this water. And you said you're not going to leave them. I mean, and there's nowhere for this water to go. So what's kind of the situation? What's next?
Honestly, we don't know. We're not going to leave the animals behind. We've saved a few already today that we were able to get in the house and get them dried up and get them, warmed up and back to life. But we don't want to walk away and lose more than we have already. There's a lot of time invested in what little bit we have left, and we just don't want to. We don't want to lose no more if we can. We want to be here to try to, keep what we can and help what we can, and try to minimize any more loss that we have.
And just since we pulled up, he had a church member come drop off water to you, and you said you moved here from South Florida, and you said the hospitality here is way different.
Way different, yes, sir. Yes, sir. The people, everybody, strangers passing by offering us, we need help, we need food, if we have water, electricity. I mean, it's quite a different from where we're from, where we came from.
Absolutely. David, I know a lot of people are going to see this and they're going to want to help. Is there anything that you're in need of? Is there anything people can do to help y'all's situation?
Prayers right now, to be honest with you. I mean, we don't know what the electric situation is going to be. He brought us a bunch of water. We can hold on to that. Really, we're just asking for prayers now that we can ride it out till the last bit goes away and hope it recedes quickly.
It's tough. and it's and Richard, this is just one of many scenes that unfortunately we're kind of coming across today. People dealing with the effects of Debby here around Barnwell County. We're just off State Road 30,
SC 39.
SC 30. We're just off SC 39 near Williston here in Barnwell County, and we were doing live hits in Barnwell County earlier today, and we did not see anything like this. So that just goes to show you make one turn to where the land's just right to hold water. It's a low spot, and then you unfortunately encounter things like this.
First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale earlier this evening, and a heartbreaking scene there with David in Barnwell County. We also saw flooding today in Burke, Allendale, and Screven counties. Washouts, flooding, and mud after Tropical Storm Debby hits the river region. The cleanup just beginning across the two-state, and the community is coming together.
That's what this community is about, helping each other. It's the most action we've had on this road in a while, but it's definitely everybody comes together. The
biggest impact we saw was rain, and a lot of it. In Screven County, they called in the National Guard to help with flooding and downed trees.
This is a dead-end road. You got one way in, one way out.
In Allendale County, EMA officials say the rain was the most they've seen.
Rain, and more rain. That's the main issue here in Allendale. We have very low-lying areas that cause a lot of problems.
City leaders say their priority was moving people out of flooded homes.
We had to move people out of the houses. We had to escort them out to other family members. If not, we had Allendale Fairfax Elementary School was on standby.
And over in Sardis, Tom Bargeron Road was washed out near Highway 23. Neighbors say recovery is going to be tough, but they're staying positive.
It's going to be rough till it, gets a little better. I tell everybody to be careful because these roads is a mess now.
All that and another First Alert as Debby makes a second landfall.
We, your First Alert weather team, have issued a First Alert for Thursday due to the possibility of more impacts from Debby on the backside of the system from outer rain bands as it moves through South Carolina. 1 to 2 more inches of rainfall could occur in areas that have already seen over half a foot of rainfall in the past 72 hours, and that's why we do still have concern for more flooding.
And as the area prepares for another round of rain, volunteers are helping any way they can.
We truly hate to have disasters. We would love to live in a world where there are no disasters, but it is such an incredibly gratifying and overwhelming feeling to know that there's the support of all of these people from all over the country who are coming here to help us.
So many people pitching in on both sides of the river, and right now local nonprofits are hitting the road to send those meals and other assistance to evacuees in the hardest hit areas. Your Audrey Dickherber shows us how you can help.
The Red Cross is filling up rows and rows of supplies at Golden Harvest and bringing in lots of volunteers to help with disaster relief in the South. They're preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best. Emptying trucks and filling them to get back on the road and help those in need.
We chose Augusta as an initial setup point because it was a safe place that was away enough from the coast and the devastations.
Volunteers came to the South from all over the country, such as California, Vermont, New Jersey, and for Gary, it was Kentucky.
I lived in Georgia. Valdosta used to be a home for me, so it's a special connection. But it's just coming up for the people that's in need. Just helping out. You could help one person. It justifies your time and effort to be here.
There are more than 500 volunteers like him that have stepped up to help.
We were prepared for impact here in Augusta, and then when we saw the path was going to be more coastal, we knew that we could stage here, be close to everywhere we needed to go in coastal Georgia, South Carolina, and onward up into North Carolina.
Coming to Augusta to find out where to go next.
We've had people going to Columbia, South Carolina. We've had people headed out to Savannah. We're starting to send people up into North Carolina. So for the next week or so, they'll continue to come in here, and then we'll disperse them out.
And the volunteers say it's worth it to give back.
It's all in the spirit of giving. It's all in the spirit of caring for our fellow mankind.
In Augusta, Audrey Dickherber, on your side.
And a few of those trucks you just saw heading out to Savannah to deliver those supplies. For more information on how you can help, visit our website, WRDW.com. There is an army of helpers out there. School systems still adjusting their schedules. Both Jenkins and Screven County closed until Monday. Bamberg County schools closed tomorrow. In Aiken County, Busby Elementary, Corbett Middle School, Wagner Sally High School have a 2-hour delay for tomorrow. All other schools are normal schedule, but with no after-school activities. We've listed all the closures and delays on the website, WRDW.com. In Bullitt County, down around Statesboro, water rescue teams helping take people to safety this morning during some of that flooding. These are pictures from GEMA and the Homeland Security Agency's rescue. The county also saw some major road damage there. This is south of Statesboro on Neville's Denmark Road, and they can't even begin those repairs until the water levels start to drop. In South Carolina, Governor McMaster giving another update on the storm. We just learned in the last half hour they've had 6 tornadoes in the low country. Leaders are watching the storm track closely right now and providing more resources, including shelter, road crews, National Guard, and search and rescue teams as well. They expect to see more power outages and rainfall, and river flooding remains a major concern.
The rivers up there take a long time to respond. It's very flat. So the rain that falls will go into the rivers, and then also the rain that falls into North Carolina, which will be considerable, will take some time to work its way down into the state. And that's why we don't expect those rivers to crest probably until the middle of next week at some point.
Governor McMaster says the state has been fortunate so far with no reports of any deaths. New at 11, a Columbia County man arrested and facing child pornography charges. Deputies say 28-year-old Stephen Januszewski had the content on 2 computers. He's facing charges of possession of child pornography and distribution of child porn. He's been denied bond. New receipts could shed some light on Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson's reimbursements. The mayor raising questions himself about the reimbursement of just a few weeks ago. Leaders say the mayor is not breaking any policy by asking for that reimbursement on his personal credit card. From January to June, he requested to be reimbursed more than $57,000. Some of the expenses include the mayor's master's reception and a White House state dinner. In a letter last month, the city finance director told the mayor to stop using the personal credit card. She asked him the same in January. The mayor says his office and the finance department are working through solutions they hope to settle at Tuesday's committee meeting. Tomorrow you have a chance to weigh in on a 1-cent tax for Richmond County schools. The tax goes toward different East Bloss projects around the school district. A vote for the project will come in November. This public forum is at First Baptist Church Mission Activity Center on Walton Way, beginning at 6:30. Tomorrow, we're getting an update on a cancer treatment center project in North Augusta. In January, we told you about the new center with the Augusta Oncology Multi-Specialty Clinic coming to that former Medac building. It's all part of the Beacon Bluff project in North Augusta. We'll be there with updates for you starting tomorrow morning. Mikkel?
Thank you for those updates, Richard. We are still tracking more potential impacts from Debby tomorrow in the way of more possible rainfall, and that brings the threat for more flash flooding. We'll talk about it coming up next.
And later, the governor of Illinois calling for a sheriff to step down after a woman was killed by one of his deputies in her own home. We'll hear from him when News 12 at 11 continues.
When you visit or work with Parker's Kitchen, your support makes a difference. You've helped us rank as Best Workplace in America. None of this happens without you.
Thank you. We do have a First Alert weather day in effect as Debby heads towards the CSRA. Make sure you're staying prepared by scanning the QR code on your screen to download the First Alert weather app and stay weather aware. Here's how easy it is. Simply open your camera on your phone. Hover that over the QR code, click the link, and then download the app. Now you have access to the latest forecast for your area, severe weather notifications, the First Alert radar network, the most accurate radar network in our area, right at the palm of your hands. Download now.